Welcome to the Eye on Annapolis Local Business Spotlight. There are thousands of locally owned businesses in the area, some small and some large. Some you may know and others you don't. But one thing they all have in common is a great story, and we want to share it with you. Join us every Saturday as we talk to the founders, the owners, and the managers of local businesses you have come to know and love, and those you will come to know and love. Now here's your host, John Frenay, with this week's Local Business Spotlight.
I am in a building that has a red side and a yellow roof, and it's not a Waffle House, so I'm pretty excited about this. But we're here with Amy Applestein, who is one of the owners and the owner of Liquor Mart and Deli, which is located right on the corner of, now I think I may screw this up, but General's Defense and West?
So not quite West Street, but we are 100 Defense Highway.
Okay, yes. So it is right on the corner by the mall.
Yes.
And everybody knows this building. You are unique in color. You look a little Waffle House-ish to a degree,
which I love.
But you don't serve pancakes.
No, not at all.
Liquor Mart and Deli. But I'll tell you, and it's funny. I usually like to know a little bit about these spotlights before I go in, and I try to do a little bit of research just to get a basic idea. And it's great. I love this one because there's not a whole lot out there about you, because you seem to be the mom and pop, and you, I guess, are the mom, if you will, of this organization, and you don't have a website.
Right.
You've got a great location. You've got a place on Facebook, but that's about it. There's not a whole lot of action going on Facebook. And I'm so excited to talk to you, and thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm very looking forward to this.
Well, awesome. Well, where's the background? How did Liquor Mart and Deli start?
Okay, so my uncle, Howard Pinski, was living in Crofton, found the business, and asked my father. We were all living in Gastonia, North Carolina, small town right outside of Charlotte.
It's got all the Waffle Houses that you can use.
Absolutely. That's why I chuckled with the Waffle House, because we love Waffle House growing up. Anyway, he approached my dad and said, listen, I've got this, business. I think it could be profitable for us and for your families. And what do you think? And off we came, and June 1st, 1981 began our journey, and we have been here over 40 years. And it is a little hidden gem, even though we're well known in the community. But you're right, we kind of are still very old mom and pop style, and we like that. But my father has been running the business day to day for over 40 years, and it is to what it is, today. I'm lucky to be a part of that as well.
Well, I did see some website. It was probably like a business website that sort of registers business or something. It said it was established in 1976.
Correct.
And that would be when your uncle had started
so from 1976 until 1981, there were prior owners.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Liquor Mart and Deli was established and founded in 1976. We acquired it in 1981.
Okay.
So we did buy it from the previous owners, and here we are, still today.
He's a smart guy, man, because that mall opened up in 1980.
That's right. That's
so
exactly right.
You had the truck. I mean, my initial thing was, 76. What were you selling to, cows?
Right. There was not much around here, as you know. Not at all. I mean, this corner is prized. Everybody knows it's been called many, many things because it's been here for a very long time.
Does this corner have a name? There's Staples Corner up in Croft, or Crofton?
Correct.
And there's one down in South County that's some corner name.
Yes. This used to be Carvels Corner.
Okay.
And there was different associations because this building is extremely old, and we talk very, very nice about it because it is so old. It used to be a pharmacy. This actually used to be a home. It was a house originally, and then when we, bought it back, and we kind of built the back end of it, and we could only go so far because the county wouldn't let us go up higher. So Carvels Corner, or Cars Corner, is what this has been really named after. And because across the street where now the mall was a whole different entity over there as well.
So if I go talk to Lou Hyatt or Ralph Crosby, he's going to say, oh yeah, go to Cars Corner. And
yeah, absolutely. They would know exactly what you're talking about.
That's so cool. And I mean, when you say it used to be a house, it's back at that time. This possibly could have been a farmhouse because I mean I've got some friends that have been here before the mall, and I mean they remember riding the bikes down to the creek to College Creek or to Weems Creek, and there was not much out here.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we really had Baldwin's Farm Supply across the street. And like you said, the mall was basically, not even here. So we have watched the entire area grow around us, and we have stayed in the same nice little niche all those years.
Well, what I think is neat is, I mean, and I do stop by here all the time. Every time I come, I say all the time. A lot of times when I come by here, stop and I get the sandwich, and I am a purist when it comes to sandwich. I always get the same darn thing. It's roast beef on rye with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, and it's awesome.
Oh, thanks.
But what fascinates me is that you have been here so long, almost 40 years, with relatively no competition. Okay, so a barbecue place opens up, and now there's, 10 barbecue joints within the area. The Irish pub, we went through a period with Irish pubs opening up, and there was a number of them that's, and I don't want to say copycats, and some of them are very good and everything else. You look into the Latin or the Hispanic type restaurants and the boom there. There's nothing that compares to you guys. I mean, you guys, you're... And I love the name. I mean, you don't have any kind of fancy name. I mean, it's Liquor Mart Deli. Well, what do you do? Well, okay, that sort of answers the question.
Sure does.
How do you think you've remained? I mean, okay, Giolitti's is a deli. I mean, you've got you can argue that Chicken Ruth's is a deli. You've got Big Cheese down there, and there are places that sell sandwiches, and there are plenty of places that sell beer, wine, and liquor.
Right.
How do you? I mean, did you fend off competition, or did you just find the sweet spot and nobody wants to go into it? How did that happen?
Basically, I mean, our really true gem here is my deli. Because like you said, we are not like Subway. We are not like Jimmy John's. No disrespect to some of those other ones. Right. These are national chains. And of course they're going to do well because they're all over the place.
For sure.
And you're right. There is no other real deli. We offer an amazing product for an amazing price. And I cannot go without saying our clientele, our customers that have kept us going for these 40 plus years, that is the reason why we're successful. People know our deli. They know our quality. They know exactly what they're going to get. It's always fresh. And we haven't changed. And I know that sometimes sounds boring, but I haven't changed recipes because if it ain't broke, don't leave it alone. And it really does and extremely well. Yes, you're right. There are liquor stores all over the place. We sell liquor, we sell beer, we sell wine, we sell spirits. We offer a wonderful product, I think, for the size store that we have. But nobody has the type of deli that we do in our area, and that's what speaks volume.
Well, I mean, that sort of begs the question then. What is your business mix? I mean, are you a liquor store, or are you a deli? I mean, and I guess this could talk into number of rings on the register or dollars or whatever. I mean, I'm not looking for that, but I mean, or is it pretty well equally split? So
it is. I mean, we obviously sell much more beer and wine than we do the spirits. I mean, beer is our number one seller here, if I had to say percentage wise.
Right.
But the deli is what we're known for, and that's complimentary to us because people will say, oh, Liquor Mart and Deli. Oh my gosh, the place on the corner that sells the amazing sandwiches and subs. That
has beer.
That's exactly that has beer that can obviously, right. You walk in, you're going to get your, all of your party supplies, and you go, hey, well, while I'm here, I am going to pick up my 30 pack of Bud Light. I'm going to grab my bottle of Tito's, and off I go. I have everything that I need almost in one stop shop, which is kind of nice.
That really is.
Yes.
That's pretty, well, I mean, you talk about you come in and you've got the one-stop shop. I mean, I know my favorite is, and makes it nice and simple, is that $8 lunch.
Yeah.
Okay, it's much better than the, and no dissing on the people that are doing burgers, but it's much better than the $12 or $14 burgers. $8, you get any sandwich that's on the menu, a bag of chips, your choice of flavors, and some kind of a non-alcoholic drink. Well, actually, you probably can't say that now because now all these the beers are coming in non-alcoholic.
I know.
And no
so
carb,
many of them.
No carb, low carb, no sugar, low sugar.
Yes.
But bottled water or sodas or anything like that. And I mean that's a deal that you really difficult to beat. And it's great if you're passing through town, pull into the parking lot, boom, you're in, you're out in 6 minutes.
Exactly. And we're known for that as well. We're pretty fast. I mean, our customer service here, not to toot my own horn, and the staff here that we have just been amazing. They've been with us for so long, and we offer a great product, great service. That's why we have been successful. And thank goodness for that. The neighboring communities are why we're still here doing what we love and what we like to provide for them.
Who's your customer that is coming in? I mean, you've said you've got so many that have kept you in business all these years that continue to support you. I mean, who is that customer? Is it the blue collar worker that's going out to a job site? Is it the doctor that's in one of the fancy office buildings up the road from you that's going in, or is it all of the above?
I'm glad you asked, John, because it's not only the neighboring communities here, and I don't want to name them because I'm afraid I would leave some out, but everybody knows where our location is. The neighborhoods that are surrounding us are, thank goodness, we are their local stop. We are their everyday stop, whether it's once a day, once a week, twice a week, what doesn't matter. Then, of course, we do have the blue collar workers that are going up the street to the Home Depot that know where we are. We're in a convenient spot, so they stop here all the time. And then, thank goodness, from the hospital to all of the office buildings around us, those are our everyday clientele as well. And we've learned to know them and they know us. Sometimes we probably maybe share too much, and at times we do, but that's the type of business and that's the type of family environment that we have here. So we know them by name. We usually know what they buy. Not that they can't deviate, right, but you do kind of get to know us, and we know you very well.
Oh, yeah, they want an extra swoosh of mayonnaise
maybe
on it,
so.
whatever it may be. Well, I know in a prior life I owned several travel agencies, and we had one office right around the corner on Holiday Court. And when we'd have our weekly staff meetings, this was always we'd pass the notepad around the office, and okay, what do you want from Liquor Mart and Deli?
Great,
and
thank you.
Somebody would go out and pick it up before we go, and we'd, and that was, we'd meet. But it was definitely one of the go-tos. And if we had a good month, we might go to Giolitti's. And
there you go. And they're wonderful. That's the one good thing is that we have terrific neighbors, around us and businesses that we would support and share that with as well.
Well, they really do, because I mean, you are and I don't mean this in any kind of a disrespectful way, but I mean, you are a no frills place.
Yes.
It's solid, it's good, it's it's a value. I can go to McDonald's and I can go to Lebecfin in Philadelphia, okay? And they're both restaurants, but they're both different things. So it's and you guys, you mentioned it, the neighbors supporting you and the blue collars and everything else. And I remember, I do miss rest in peace the Ebb Tide.
Yes.
And was a true local dive bar. I know I get into arguments with people sometimes where they say, "Oh, well, so and so is a dive bar." I said, "No, they're not. They have a brioche bun. No dive bar has a brioche bun, for crying out loud."
Not like a real dive bar.
Yeah. But the thing that I liked about the Ebb Tide, which I get the same sort of vibe here, is that it's blue collar, white collar, no collar. It doesn't really matter. We all get along.
Yes.
It just seems like politics. I mean, not that that's where you would go to discuss your politics and your religion and everything else that you're not supposed to. But I mean, it seems as it's all checked out at the door.
Yes.
And it's just a good group of people. And it speaks that your employees have been around forever.
They certainly have. And I mean, one of my managers, he's been with us from day one. And, we couldn't do what we do without the great group of people that we have working with us. And we always say that because they do work with us. We're all in here doing this together. I mean, I'm here, many, many, many days of the week. My father is still very prominently a part of the business. He's incredible. I mean, he's a dynamo. I mean, if you've been able to do this for this long, but our clientele is so great. I mean, that's what makes it worthwhile. I mean, it's still work. It's a job. Yeah. But, you got to come to work every day and like what you do and be able to offer the service of what we do. And it helps that you have a good group of people. So most of the time we don't have to deal with too much of the shenanigans. I mean, every once in a while, but come on, we're in business. Yeah. I mean, you can't get away from that.
Well, you're absolutely right that if you don't love what you do, hang up what you're doing and find something that you do love.
True.
And it doesn't matter whether you're collecting trash, removing appendixes, or making sandwiches, or
Right.
delivering beer, or whatever it may be, or making podcasts, and you've got to do what you love.
Exactly.
Because then going to work is never a chore for you.
Right. And that's true. And that also gives off onto the customers that you serve.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, you have to put on a smile. Unfortunately, we're still a little bit behind the masks, but whatever. We're hopefully getting past that too. But you have to have a good, positive attitude to start your day, each and every one of them.
Is the customer always right?
No. No,
that's what I like to hear.
We do not believe that. Only because, John, listen, we've been here so long. We know what we're doing. And one thing that we do not do is we do not allow anybody to be disrespectful to my staff, any of us here, or to the customers. I mean, and it has gotten to that point over the 40 plus years we're here. It has happened, on occasion, not that often. We try to do our very best. I will provide and I will try to get everything accomplished with a customer. Sometimes you just can't make that one happy. So we tend to move on. It has happened, in our history, but not often.
Much better to keep an employee that's been with you. I wholeheartedly agree with you that, and I would certainly say in today's environment that a lot of times the tensions are high and people are stressed and expectations may be a little bit over-exaggerated.
Sure.
And
behaviors, the behaviors of some individuals, it does have to stop at the door. You chose to come in. So, and like I said, we approach everybody with kindness and with respect, and we just ask the same, in return. And we generally get that, without any problem.
Nothing wrong with that. Well, I'll tell you, you've got 40 years here, yourself almost 40.
Yes.
What's the best thing on the menu?
So my number one sellers on my menu are the Italian cold cuts.
Okay.
Our chicken salad. And then, honest to God, we have so many runners up, but they group into a category. I mean, our turkey clubs are hugely popular. Our turkey is probably right on up there, whether you want it with the bacon and the cheese added, or you just want it, a nice turkey breast sandwich or a sub. Everything here is made fresh every day. And I always like to chime into that. We make every salad here except our potato salad, because I haven't tried to find a recipe that is quite as good as what I can get bought from my distributor.
So your recipes that you're making, you're making your salads, except for your potato salads,
correct,
here every day. Are these like secret family recipes?
They're not secret family recipes, but they've been the same. Again, without sounding boring, because I always tell my children, I have twin girls, and I always tell them that, without sounding boring, they're amazing. I could talk for an hour just about them, but I won't. Our recipes have been the same because it's tried and true. You can always add things. If you like different creations in your pasta salad or your macaroni salad, you can add that. Same thing with our tuna fish or our egg salad. So we're very basic, because that's what the majority of our group, our clientele, enjoys. And then you have a particular preference. You want onions on this. You want pickles on that. Well, we'll add it for you.
No problem. Chop, and there you go.
Absolutely.
Great.
We're here to serve and to provide and make you happy.
Well, I was talking to somebody that I told them that I was coming to talk to you, and they said, oh my God, ask about the Rachel.
Oh.
And I've never had it. As I said, I'm a purist. I mean, it's like, so what's the deal with this Rachel, and who is she?
Okay, so Rachel is a dear relative of Reuben. So Reuben, which are both of those are extremely popular. A Reuben is hot corned beef,
right,
Swiss cheese, and sauerkraut on rye toast with Thousand Island dressing. So Rachel, the other distant relative, has coleslaw on it instead of sauerkraut, and it is beyond incredible. I'm not a sauerkraut fan, so I don't eat the Reubens, but I do love the Rachels, and we can make Rachel with turkey, with pastrami, or with corned beef, because we do make our sandwiches to order. You can create your own, or you can add whatever you want on it, but there are some that are just basic, but that is the basic Rachel, and she's extremely popular.
So it's not named after her. It's not one of your twin daughters?
It is not.
No.
Okay.
So
I would have gotten in trouble because I have twins, so then I would have needed another sandwich. So,
well, yeah. That's the thing.
Right.
But it's like I said, I'm a little bit of a purist, and I mean, you mentioned egg salad, and that's another. my girlfriend retches when I mention that because she just can't stand it, and I just love it.
So good.
And someone asked me one time, do you get it with onions in it? And I'm like, oh no, that's pretty gross. It's like the egg, the mayonnaise, maybe like some mustard.
Absolutely.
And maybe you want to put some celery in it.
Yeah, we don't put celery in ours.
Sometimes, but it's fine. But I mean, just a very pure on rye with maybe some lettuce.
Sure.
And I'm good.
And try some bacon on it sometime too. Ooh. And you have your eggs and bacon right there. It's delicious.
Ooh, makes it sound like a healthy breakfast.
Exactly. And yummy.
I have not had it. I'm going to have to definitely check out the egg salad next time I'm here and forgo my roast beef.
There you go. Well, you have to stick with your tried and true too. Your favorite.
I tell you. It's funny though. I often ask, like, okay, so what's the future hold for Liquor Mart and Dari or whatever business we happen to be talking with? And I probably know the answer to that. It's not much.
Not much.
Because you said, let's not screw up a good thing.
Sure.
It's working. It's worked for the business for nearly 50 years.
Yes.
You said that you've recently sort of been unfortunately elevated into, the ownership of this due to the death of your uncle.
Right.
Do you have anything? I mean, is there picnic tables out back with, is there any changes that you see there or that you might like?
It's always a good question, and like I said, we have not done much in the years that we have been here besides adding some menu items. So that might be the only one. I listen to what my customers want. And we have tried different things throughout the years. And the reason they're not on the menu anymore is because we tried it, it didn't work, let's move on. As far as, we can't grow any further. We can't build up. The county won't let us to, build up higher because it restricts the shopping center behind us, which I understand. Our parking lot is already limited. It's doable, Sure. I know that there have been issues, with the parking lot over the years, but it's doable. So we really can't expand. All we can do is continue to provide what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. And thank God our customers continue to come and support us. And we thank them for it so much.
Well, I'll tell you, for some people that may not have stopped in and they pass the red building with the yellow roof, it's not a Waffle House, probably 20 times a month, what would surprise them the most about Liquor Mart and Deli? That they to know about. I mean, liquor, deli, beer. That's the low hanging fruit. But what is the big surprise?
I still believe it's the old ma and pa feel. Is that you're not walking into a corporate size store, and there's nothing wrong with those either. We're individualized. I think that what we offer, it is going to be basically the deli. Because again, you can find your liquor items, your beer items, your wine items, in any other store. But the deli is pretty specific. I mean, it definitely sticks out. And people walk in. We get people from all across the world. Thank goodness, we're in a tourist area and with the Naval Academy.
Right.
So we get people that come in from all different parts of the country that we love, and they go, there's a deli inside a store, and then they find out a little bit of our history, and that they find out that it's still a family-owned and operated establishment. That's kind of unheard of these days anymore because there are not that many of us left, and that makes us a kind of a special gem, if I do say so myself.
You should thump your chest at that. That's something to be very, very proud of, and there are very few. I mean, I threw out two names with Lou Hyatt and Ralph Crosby have been around forever.
Right.
But I see a Severn Bank pen on your desk.
Yes.
So I mean, there are some local businesses that have been around forever, and you've been in the area yourself personally for a long, long time, right?
I have. I certainly have.
I was once corrected when I said I was from Annapolis, and someone says, "Whoa, wait a minute. When did you move here?" And I said, like 96, and they said, yeah, no, you need 20 years before you can even say that you're from Annapolis. I'm like, okay, so I've crossed the threshold, so I can legally, I suppose, say that I'm from Annapolis.
Okay.
But you've been here for a long time. What do you miss about the old days? And it could be, it could be a restaurant. It could be just a vibe. It could be,
I miss the smaller town feel. We came from a very small town in North Carolina before we moved here. And while I love all of the opportunities that this area has, I mean, we're in the backyard of D.C. and Baltimore, and Annapolis is its own beautiful, waterfront gem. I miss the feel out of that. That's why we try to keep the family community feel in this store. Without becoming so corporate and so stark and cold, that we still call people by their names and they know all about our lives. And like I said before, they probably know a little bit too much. But, I do have pictures that I have posted up at the front of the store of my children, and people, know me before I even had them. And then they've watched them grow. We watch their families grow. And then we meet new generations. And it just becomes almost like a little social place to to meet and greet and to not hang out, but people in the neighborhoods, they even come here and they start chatting, what are you guys doing later and what are you up here getting, and it's just kind of a warm feeling for the community when things around us have been built up so much. So I do miss a little bit of a lot has grown and will continue to grow.
Yeah.
Which is good. I mean, we want opportunities for the area. We want to bring in more jobs and we want to bring in more money, for the county and for the state. But yet you don't want to lose that little niche that you've had.
Right. And certainly being, let's talk a little bit about COVID, but certainly being a liquor store, you probably did okay during that. During
we did, John.
Most liquor stores did.
Yes.
And I mean, obviously, you've got masking and you've got closure for a period and everything else. That was a real difficult time. But did you have any problem? And I'm going to venture to say I know the answer to this question, but with any employees?
So we did not, thank goodness. So what happened is that we never closed. We were always essential because we are a food source and because of the liquor, believe it or not. I mean, no liquor stores had to close.
There was a big lobbying effort when they first came.
Absolutely. And I think it would have been a disaster because, it would, you don't want to flock the emergency rooms or the hospitals with people that couldn't get their alcohol. Now that's a different level that we're talking about. Some of our staff were scared. I mean, everybody we were all terrified. And, this has been very trying because we've been open since the beginning and thank God, we appreciate that. But it's taken a toll on all of us. I mean, we're definitely weathered. We're a little bit more stressed out, because we're still pretty much in it. We all still do wear masks. It is not mandated here anymore, in the entire county, and we do not mandate it in the store. And I do like to stress that because that did become, we don't have to focus on the COVID and the masks, but I mean, that was an unfortunate time, is trying to not argue with people, but try to get them to understand that, I have to abide by county mandates and whether or not people liked that or not. But we did offer curbside service. We offered a whole different realm of possibilities for them to still be accommodated here if they chose to stop here for their business.
Well, that's one thing I do think that COVID did. I know when this first reared its head in March of 2020.
Yes.
I was like, okay, so we're going to knuckle down for 3 weeks, a month, and we'll be okay. And, and here we are 3 years later, going into the third year. But, businesses were forced to adapt and figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to venture to say that you never thought about curbside delivery before 2020.
That's exactly right.
I don't know whether you did did you do any home delivery?
We did not do home delivery. And you know why? Because I couldn't find a cutoff point. I could not find
where it works.
That's right, because we get, thank God, Davidsonville, Crownsville, Annapolis, downtown. I mean, we get customers from all over. Where would I cut it off? It wouldn't be fair. The curbside was very, very popular because, thank God. But you're right, I never thought about that before this, but I thought, how do I get people to feel comfortable about buying from us, getting their sandwiches, getting their lunches and dinners, and then getting all of their libations or their chips, or whatever they wanted, a salad on the side. What could we do? So everybody got so creative, and I think it's incredible how the community has just band together, which is it was just amazing because I would try to support all of my neighbors in my community as well, and I'm over in Crofton, so I would do it from Annapolis and to Crofton, just because I don't live in Annapolis. Annapolis anymore.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, it worked out very, very well.
But you said it up in Crofton. Totally off topic. Have you been to Applestein Kitchen?
I have.
Do you like it?
It's delicious.
Isn't it great?
I love the atmosphere. I love the environment. I love the food is incredible. So, and that's actually not too far from where I do live. I love that area very, very much.
It's grown.
It has grown. It has grown. The only thing that they do not have is they do not have a successful deli anywhere in that area. I'm not looking to expand, but that's always in the back of my mind.
It's just a quick short shot down 450, and you're right here.
That's what I tell people, and luckily we have people that come from Crofton, probably because I tell them to. But no,
absolutely,
yes.
Now, is your customer base? Is it mostly a? Yeah, I know. I mean, we talked about curbside. Is it mostly like, I want the turkey special, the Italian sub, a roast beef sandwich, an egg salad, a case of Bud Light, and a bottle of wild turkey? Okay. I mean, habitual. Or do you get people coming in and actually shopping?
Both.
Oh, really? Okay.
We do both. So during the day, for lunchtime, obviously it's my deli. It's my lunchtime workers that are coming here to supply all of their needs, whether it's for the entire office and it's a huge box of lunch for 30 people, or it's on an individual basis. But we get people that come here and they are having a party, this weekend. I mean, we just had the Super Bowl, yesterday, and we garnished, quite a bit of their libations, mostly their alcohol choices, I guess, if you will. But we get it all. I mean, everything from just somebody coming in and picking up one tuna fish sandwich to somebody that has a wedding, next weekend, and they're buying their entire supply from us.
Okay. Do you do catering?
We do catering. We don't do it on premise. Right. But that has pretty much, I don't want to say has died completely, John, but
people aren't having the events.
They're not, and especially with COVID. Yeah. They're not, we do party platters, but people don't want to have an open tray of food. Everybody's doing more specific, individually wrapped sandwiches. Sam's Club, which is, one of our dearest, closest neighbors right up the street, they get sandwiches from us all the time, and we usually just wrap them individually. We'll label them with their names on it, and then they have their corporate meeting, and everybody has a good lunch provided by us. So
fantastic. Well, anybody, the next time you are out by the mall, I'll say, don't go into the mall. Come across the street to Liquor Mart Deli if you need something to eat and to drink. One of the best bargains in town. $8 will probably feed you for lunch and dinner because they are big sandwiches. They're not, you don't skimp on it. I know when you go, you mentioned Subway, or when you go to one of the franchises, typically they say, okay, put 2.5 slices of turkey on. And
yes, you won't get that here. I promise you.
A friend of mine worked at Dairy Queen way before she told me that she got fired because you had to weigh like the ice cream when you put it out into the little cone, and it had to be weigh 2.5 ounces, between 2.5 and 2.75, and she was caught egads putting 3 ounces of ice cream on, so it was boom, out the door you go.
Oh my goodness.
But the portions are huge here. The selection on the menu in the deli is amazing, and pretty much in the liquor store as well.
Well, thank you.
So congratulations on 40 years and whatever looks into the future. I mean, it's I'm going to be here, and as long as you're here, I'm going to be coming in for sure. And this has been wonderful.
Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure, and I've enjoyed it very much. And everybody, come down and see us. We'll take good care of you.
Thanks for listening to this week's Local Business Spotlight. Please make sure to visit eyeonannapolis.net for all your local news, events, and opinion. And in case you haven't already, please subscribe to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, where we bring you all the day's local news direct to your phone, tablet, or computer in about 10 minutes. It comes to you at 6 a.m. every Monday through Friday, and you can subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.